Okay. Let me just calmly start this video, but just saying thank you, God. It's not easy to be thankful in these circumstances I'm in, but I'm thankful because I could live life differently. But I have to be thankful because the life that could have been lived is the life of the purpose that I'm going to show you. There have been the people around me trying to gaslight me into accepting these disturbing manipulations. As I'm being manipulated by this technology that's been under development for so long ago. I mean, tracing back to the time when this man was writing this book. And this is writing this book, some of the things he did in the 50s is scary. But also for me, I'm so glad that I actually digged into the findings of what he was doing in the 50s. It's so obvious at this point. And now my brain is being so damaged that I feel like the process of my thoughts are even more manipulated. I literally feel the damage of my brain, which means that they can implant this retardation of logicalness. That's all I can describe it. But let me just start off by saying what I've been always started saying, besides thanking God, is I'm a target individual. I understand what it means. Target individual are human test subjects. That's all we are. And they try to present something else. What you're gonna see is the perps around you. They come in all shapes and forms. You've seen people who are my coworkers. Now you're gonna see some people who are my neighbors. They come in all shapes and forms from all walks of life. And their sole job is to get you to accept the way you're being manipulated. They have no shame. They don't care that obviously, you're just twisting my thought process, manipulating me to experience that. Of course, I know who I am. And to have some random people that you don't even know and respect try to gaslight you to make you think, no, this is something that we're not manipulating you to experience. It's just ridiculous. I'm so thankful my life couldn't consist of that. Where I will have no self-respect to the point where I'm going to be like, hey, no, it's you who know yourself very well. Because I'm saying this in this way, just believe me. On top of that, the person I'm saying that to is not reading books or listening to things that they were doing in the 50s that validate that that means this what they're doing today is just like, God. And I'm surrounded by childlike people who are supposed to be never. So before the day comes when I can express myself, before I can articulate myself, I will continuously make this video. Target video, if you're still watching my videos, I hope it helps you. But also this is helping me because I need to let this out. And I want to make sure that I did every part of what I can to ensure that I express myself, and perhaps this will help others. And I don't have no shame in the way they're twisting my brain and the manipulation, because I know it's not me, and it's almost damn near retarded. And they have no shame. These people are paid to have no shame. These people in the hallway start yelling things and acting like right now. What's the most disturbing part? And this is when it's one thing to drive somebody into insanity by manipulating the brain. This is done remotely and this and that. These people are even selling their own children. That's when you know these people. And the truth is, it kind of validates me more than ever. If you're willing to have what I'm going to say done, that means of course, you would do these things to me. It's another validation that they're just like, you're proving to me even more. You're proving that you're capable of doing this because you're capable of doing that already. What I'm saying is, I've been talking about how they're saying that they're framing me using children. Saying that they're going to act like I'm doing something to a child. That I'm interacting with a child. That I'm being romantically involved with a child. What's crazy is because they make me buy things. Like, I'm so controlled that I buy little things here and there. I know it's them pushing me to buy them. But if it's something that I think looks good and whatnot, I'll buy it. It's like, okay. And if it's not expensive, if it's within the pricing that I'm comfortable with, I will buy it. And I'm not somebody who buy expensive things. So I was thinking about buying rings and whatnot, just why not? Just try to, I'm into style and whatnot. So I'm like, okay, why not? Try it. And as I put the ring in, it's like, yeah, we're gonna pretend that you're marrying a child here, And I don't think it's true, but I know that they're making look like I'm being with a child. They're framing me one way or another with a child. They're making look like I'm interacting, I'm having some kind of intimacy with a child. That I'm having sex with a child here, some retard here, and they're acting accordingly. They want to method act. I don't even let them live their fantasies. You're going to see some of this quote-unquote bait. These retards. They know I detest them. They know it's actually they're putting their children in danger, because what's going to happen, children are not fully developed. They don't understand the reality. Already they're creating a false reality in this program. Is like a reality that's falsified. My fear is these children don't know that what we're doing is not for real. This guy knows the reality. People don't react well when we do these things. He might be aggressive. If you do this method acting in front of him, he's gonna be maybe aggressive. And I don't want to be put in this circumstance, because I don't know how I'm gonna react if a child is told, go act like you're with this person, go do this thing in front of him. I'm scared to be in this circumstance because I don't know if I'm gonna react aggressively. If this kid tried to grab me, whoever kid it is, try to act like we're in some kind of intimacy just to stay in character and method acts, I don't know if I will do something, but I know there's going to be some reaction. And a reaction that their father or mothers should be doing. But I'm not going to let that happen. Just happen for fun. It's going to be bad. So I'm scared that I'll be put in a circumstance where a child is going to try to method act because they're being encouraged by these psyops. That's so disgusting. A lot of these perps right now, are trying to present what's happening to me as if it's a group of these fierce, woke kind of people, but just protective of the, children and women. And they're using this like woke psyops. That it's just so disgusting, because now, as you can hear now, woke is not in. Let me just say this again. This is not about politics. They just present a facade, a psyop to confuse the target individual. It's part of the confusion they want the target individual to experience. Target individual, if you're a target individual dealing with some gang stalking, you will notice that they try to present some kind of theme of a false presentation. It's just the theme they're using. It's just the type of facade they're presenting. It can go either way. They can make it look like a bunch of criminals are doing it. It's not a bunch of like thug criminals doing it. They can make it look like it's an organization crime. It's not that. Go to another world. Go to another country. Go to a third world country. You'll see. You'll see what this is really about. It'll follow you there. Go to the jungles of freaking Brazil. It'll follow you there. You think this whatever presentation is presented to you can do that? They participating. Anybody can participate. This next door retards participating in this. But it's obviously they're not the one in charge of this. And so don't get confused by it. I will never think that, okay, this is the group that I know who. And by the way, the funny part about the theme they're using for me to confuse me is the total opposite of who actually put me in this program. Because I know the people who put me in this program are extremely conservative. They're known for their conservativeness and the influence in this politics and government for what they invest in and donate their money to. So I think perhaps the theme was used to, one, because I'm more leaning on the liberal side, on the progressive side. And two, because the people who put me in this program are the completely opposite. So maybe they will try to confuse me on why I was put in this program. By whom? Now, the why, I know that they put me in this program, but this program exists because they're developing this weapon system, this technology. They need human beings from all culture, all gender, all ages, and they use these tactics of seeing what's going to work, what's efficiently working. We use as guinea pigs like monkeys. They do these things to us, knowing that they can do anything, and they see the result of it. It's when some trash was saying the output of they just do all this manipulation and see what comes out of it. Are we subscribing? Are we identifying? How is he breaking him down? This is the psychology thing. Obviously, they're doing other things to my body. Oh, they're making me, they destroy my organs, but very, very slow. Sometimes I think they're delaying my death, meaning that they make me so sick that perhaps I should be already dead. But they kind of treat what they've pushed my body, my organs to experience. As you can see, I'm not trying to be, I'm not scared of death. Death is just, I'm not scared of it. These trash are probably more scared of it. And some of them might even get there before I do. But I'm taking this trash somewhere else. Target video. I know my videos are not about religion or spirituality, but I'm so thankful to God that I didn't live life like them. These people on a Saturday, on a Sunday, this is the life they live. It's so disturbing. I'm so thankful that I don't consume this negative life. And they didn't have even the opportunity for that. It's so disgusting. And they have this theme of like, oh, we're doing it in this radical way, when it's truth, they involve in a program that's killing women and children. They are consumed by the foulness of life. And it's done in such a facilitated way because this, like I said, is a governmental program. This governmental program is developing weapon system that can do so much harmful to somebody remotely. That's why this child, like coward lowlife, can do this. It's almost fun to them because the ability of what this technology can do to you, I'm sure, is intoxicating and can make an individual feel like God because they can do so much to us physically, what they do to our body, and psychologically. And of course, your whole ecosystem is orchestrated in such a manner. We become this like target that is just, the whole life is manipulated, controlled, and tormenting. And you can tell that you're just a test subject. That they just want to see what's going to work, and they test out this new thought process. And I'm going to get to that point because there's a new one that's just magically, it's so magical. And because my brain is being destroyed and beat up, and it's like they can implant the thought process even more, and even my memories, and it's just like they condition your brain, torment your brain, and damage your brain at the same time while implanting this thought process and the reaction. And then they have this retard that they think I'm going to let them live the fantasy. You know, when I'm in isolation and by myself, it's worse. But in person, when I'm around this, I'm becoming more conscious of reality. Okay. Now, I read this book, and it shocked me to know that the level of capabilities in those days and what they're capable of doing then, it just kind of scares me too. Like, oh wow, this is that's why they can do these things at that level. And I think they can even do way more that they haven't done yet, or I don't even know they're doing. Because there's no way that in the 50s, with the limited technology that they have, in the 50s, when they were they were putting these things and able to manipulate monkeys in this fashion remotely, but having to implant these electrodes or devices they put in the brain, which you can see they got smaller throughout this. I can only imagine the level of changes they can do today. For example, right now they're going through and just reconstructing something that is just so retarded. But these perps, they can have shame because they can truly stay in character. They know it's like, we're going to make him think in this most nonsensical way possible. But if we act like this is something that makes so much sense, he's going to be accepting of that. It's gaslighting in a way that's just like in a systematic, organized way. So for me, for example, I'm hearing these perps that are so childish. Let me just give you a sample of what they could look like. It is so pathetic. To even think that I will ever respect you. I'm looking away for now because we're talking about people who just like these childlike people. They want you to accept these things. You have neighbors or people around you who, like this cloud, this around you, try to break you down into accepting these things. And just talk to you, it's like, no, this you. It makes sense, attracted. And like, I will put that in your face and you're going to eat the reality and how stupid you are. Target individual, do not identify. But on top of that, put that in their faces. For me, it's provoking to them. Because they want me to be like, oh, it makes sense. It's me then. I'm not being manipulated. You just made sense of it in my brain. And they make you see the manipulations. I'm going to get to that point. Now, let me just give you a quick sample. You see these things here? Of seeing this monkey is going to sleep. All of that. You see, there's a monkey over there, not sleeping, and then also sleeping because they were able to control that. This is done in early 60s, mid 50s. It's disturbing how advanced this thing was already, what they were capable of doing. All this thing. What do you think it was for? This is not a conspiracy theory book. This is some in medical libraries is there. The man who wrote that is a known neuroscientist. The name of this book, Physical Control of the Mind. What do you think they do? They control your mind. Now today is more than just manipulating and controlling your mind. They do that. But they want you to identify with this manipulation as extreme manipulated as it is. They don't want you to think, like, it's not just like thing that you would do naturally. But the thing that you know for sure you're being manipulated to experience that. But then they try to gaslight you. It's like they want to push the level of manipulation to be as extreme as possible and then try to gaslight you into accepting that. And then the plant thought process that's just supposed to make you make sense of it. And use these clowns. I don't know if is it like a way to challenge themselves. But it's just disturbing. And you hear the noise campaign, all of that is supposed to gaslight me. You who know yourself. It's amazing. Okay. So what manipulation they make me have? I've said it many times. They have me have these reactions, this stimulation toward children. Sexual stimulation from the little ones to the older kids to the kids in the between. To try to make, and they try to make me accept of this persona. And then they use this clown that I just showed to try to break me down into accepting this thing as if now I'm not being manipulated. And then they make me have this thought process, and you hear the honking. This honking is happening while they make me think in a certain way, which I'm going to say it's going to be amazing when I get to that point. But you're going to also hear how stupid they want me to be as a target individual. Because they implant this thought process that just, and I've noticed something. I don't know if these perps are rotating and each come up with a way to make you think. But lately it has been the level of stupidity to make me think to accept this thing. It's been worse than before. But at the same time, my brain has been so damaged, and it feels the more damaged my brain is, the more it can intake stupidity. You hear this honking? It's to try to push me to accept this manipulation. I'm going to speak about it later on, but I just want to make sure to see the things that they want me to not think about. Now, in this book, Chapter 9 talks about the factual things that give the implication that the brain can be manipulated. It was written in 1969. Listen to this.
Physical control of the brain. Experimental fact. Frog muscle contracted when stimulated by electricity. Volta, 1800. Galvani, 1791. Dubois Raymond, 1848. Implication: vital spirits are not essential for biological activities. Electrical stimuli under man's control can initiate and modify vital processes. Fact: electrical stimulation of the brain in anesthetized dog evoked localized body and limb movements. Fritz and Hitzig, 1870. Implication: the brain is excitable. Electrical stimulation of the cerebral cortex can produce movements. Fact: stimulation of the diencephalon in unanesthetized cats evoked well-organized motor effects and emotional reactions. Hess, 1932. Implication: motor and emotional manifestations may be evoked by electrical stimulation of the brain in awake animals. Fact: in single animals, learning, conditioning, instrumental responses, pain, and pleasure have been evoked or inhibited by electrical stimulation of the brain in rats, cats, and monkeys. Delgado, 1954. Olds and Milner, 1954. Implication: psychological phenomena may be controlled by electrical stimulation of specific areas of the brain. Fact: in colonies of cats and monkeys, aggression, dominance, mounting, and other social interactions have been evoked, modified, or inhibited by radio stimulation of specific cerebral areas. Delgado, 1955-1964. Implication: social behavior may be controlled by radio stimulation of specific areas of the brain. Fact: in patients, brain stimulation during surgical interventions or with electrodes implanted for days or months has blocked the thinking process, inhibited speech and movement, or in other cases has evoked pleasure, laughter, friendliness, verbal output, hostility, fear, hallucinations, and memories. Delgado, 1952-1968. Penfield and Jasper, 1954. Ramey and O'Doherty, 1960. Implication: human mental functions may be influenced by electrical stimulation of specific areas of the brain. Summary: autonomic and somatic functions, individual and social behavior, emotional and mental reactions may be evoked, maintained, modified, or inhibited, both in animals and in man, by electrical stimulation of specific cerebral structures. Physical control of many brain functions is a demonstrated fact, but the possibilities and limits of this control are still little known.
This was written in 1969. 1969. If you want to read the back of this book, this is 1969. This is what he says: by direct manipulation of the brain is a novel event in human history. In this volume, Dr. Jose M.R. Delgado describes his pioneering work in implanting electrodes in the brains of cats, monkeys, and men. Through electrical stimulation of specific cerebral structures, Delgado demonstrates how movement can be induced by radio command, hostility may appear or disappear, social hierarchy can be modified, sexual behavior may be changed, and memory, emotion, and thinking process may be influenced by remote control. In 1969, he wrote that. Now, there's definitely more validation of that. This is the old stuff that is written by a person that is respected in the medical field, in the neuroscientist field, for being a godfather of neuroscience and electrodes implantation and brain surgeries. This book exists in this like medical schools